Good evening and welcome to Green Gully Reserve. It's a cold and soggy and very wet Green Gully Reserve tonight as Green Gully play host to Altona Magic. A game which, well, if Gully lose, it could see them drop a little bit close to that relegation zone. And Altona Magic, can they continue after their win last week? They were looking to win again here and drag themselves 3 points clear of Dandenong City and St Albans. My name is Matthew McNamara. Joining me tonight will be Oscar Drew. We'll go through the lineups very, very shortly. But Oscar, how do you see this game panning out?
Yeah, no, really exciting game tonight, I think, Matt. Obviously, Altona finally getting a win last night, so it'll be really interesting to see how they respond to finally getting 3 points and moving out of the relegation zone. As you mentioned, Green Gully drifting ever closer towards that relegation zone. You'd say that Altona will be feeling confident, so in that sense Green Gully will have a rough time stopping them, but Green Gully have plenty of quality on the pitch, a couple of big names returning from the midweek FFA Cup tie, so should be a really good contest, I think.
Might come back to you in a moment to run through the lineups of both sides. I had a chat to the manager of Altona Magic a little bit earlier, Savas Patikas. He's obviously very delighted with his side's win last week. He was telling me they've had a huge amount of injury problems and issues with COVID and players returning home, and of course, the number one goalkeeper, Chris Oldfield, out for a long period of time. Some changes today for them, I know. They've got Stefan Ristic out with a red card, so he drops out, and I think it's Johnny Stojcevski who comes in, and Troy Ruthven as well. But I might get you to go through the lineups, Oscar.
Sure thing. So for Altona tonight, number 1 in goal, Stephen King. Number 4, Troy Ruthven. Number 5, Vince Lear. Number 6, John Stojcevski. Number 7, Nick Sete. Number 8, Dimitri Hatzimartis. Number 9, John McShane. Number 10, Mohamed Aidara. Number 15, Alex Castiello. Number 20, Jonas Markovsky. And number 27, Janiel De Silva. Whilst for the home side, Green Gully, number 1, Gerard Tyson. Number 4, Jordan Hall. Number 5, Dan Jones. Number 6, Matt Crooks. Number 7, Jay Davies is back. Number 9, Alex Salmon. Number 10, T-Boy Kamara. Number 11, Mehmedi Kamara. Number 13, Sean Timmins. 17, Luke Jago. And 25, Jeremy Walker.
So we're underway here, an early pressure from the Gully team. Stephen King does clear his lines eventually. Will be Altona Magic looking to go on the attack early. McShane can't quite control it. Jeremy Walker, one of my favourite fullbacks in the league. Spent some time with Hume City and, of course, Melbourne City in the A-League, for travelling overseas and playing in England, lower leagues. Here is Hatzimartis on his left foot, delivering. Sete the back post, a little bit narrow there early. It's Kamara who won that ball, and Gully confidently playing out. But eventually the hoof takes place, and here is it Jay Davies. Hairstyle changes from one season to another. One of the most exciting players in the league, however. Walker looking to find Kamara. Can't quite get the ball through. And Oscar, you've seen these teams play this year. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, I'm not sure if it's just my imagination, Matt, but Altona look already to be demonstrating such confidence and poise on the ball. Clearly that win last week has done them good. Of course, so many players had excellent displays at South Melbourne last week, and they'll be looking to continue that good form, and they look confident tonight, and that's really good to see. So a real challenge seems to be awaiting Green Gully this evening.
Both teams full of absolute talent, but points have been hard to come by all year. It will be very interesting tonight to see what can be achieved from both sides. Of course, Dandenong City playing tonight as well. They'll be looking to get themselves out of that relegation scrap, or a little bit further away from it. We'll bring you some live updates a little bit later on that game as it kicks off. Here is Walker on the side nearest to us, now broadcast side. Long searching ball, and Sete on the break, avoids one foul, drives forward. McShane's looking for the ball, doesn't use him. Sete tries to go himself, gets crowded and turns it over. Probably could have played it to McShane, who's getting stuck into him about not playing the ball. Ruthven with an average touch, and the ball sent flying away.
Well, already seeing the runs of Nick Sete for Altona, a player who's so good on the ball, low centre of gravity, really good close control, and he certainly provided a threat last week, and he'll look to continue to do so tonight. John McShane, another one who was excellent last week with his hold-up play and physicality, he'll be looking to replicate that performance as well. Plenty of positive signs early for Altona, but we're only a few minutes in, so plenty of time for Green Gully to find their feet and get into this game, I think.
We certainly are, and Oscar Drew bringing you the insights tonight as Gully send the ball launching forward, but to nobody in particular. Kamara couldn't quite get there. It's nice and cold and very wet here at Green Gully Reserve. The rain has slowed down a little bit, but will make it very interesting for these players tonight. Stojevski back in the starting lineup, as we mentioned earlier, former captain of the club. Of course, Vinny Leo with the armband tonight. All that experience. Here goes Jones driving forward. Jigo couldn't quite link up and turned over, and Altona will push forward.
And of course, as Altona have this spell of possession, Green Gully, plenty of big names back into their side as well, as mentioned from, as opposed to the midweek FFA Cup tie, the likes of Jay Davies and the like. Oh, rough challenge there coming in. Referee pulling out the card. Matt, did you see anything unbecoming there?
Well, they're very hard to tell, some of these tackles. My favourite line is whoever yells loudest wins the free kick. I think I used that one last week as well, but it will be Jego going to the referee's book. They can be so hard to tell when two players simultaneously dive in, but Lockie Keevers has picked out Jego as the man who's responsible for the foul, and he does get booked. He'll be treading lightly for the rest of the game. And what can Altona do from this set piece is the question. Hatzimaratis still down, getting some treatment. You see the Altona bench just warming up just in case Hatzimaratis can't pull through, but I'm sure he will be. Okay. Ruthven, he's on the ball, but they haven't really sent too many players forward. McShane, the obvious danger. Ruthven looks up with Lair and out wide. Stojevski on his favourite left foot, delivers in the area. It's McShane, but the assistant referee has the flag up.
Well, yeah, just seeing a snapshot there of what we might see as a pattern throughout this evening. Jeremy Walker loves to move forward, as we know, for Green Gully, and that does leave space in behind. Vinny Lear, they're trying to pick it out. Didn't quite come off on that occasion, but that could be a clear route to goal for Altona, although Jeremy Walker certainly provides plenty of attacking threat going in the other direction for Green Gully, which is why he's such a favourite of these home fans.
He certainly does. A very hard walker. Walker. Walker's a hard worker. There you go. There's a little tongue twister for you at home. But I remember when he got released by Melbourne City, and Hume City approached him at the time to come along. And they rang him in the afternoon, and Jez, not someone to shirk some hard work, said, I'll be there tonight, and came and trained his first session straight away. So he's a player who loves to play football. That's really important. And I know he went over to England and had a great time in the English Conference League, which is great for him. And really continuing on here at Gully. They're a very strong side, Green Gully. Disappointing to see them where they are at the moment. I called the playoff game a couple of years ago where they just managed to salvage themselves against Moreland City and retain their NPL1 status as ball's travelled forward to Hatzimaratis. What can he do on the edge of the area? He tries to strike it and Walker gets there. Here's Vinny Lear from range and that one travels over the bar.
Well, a really positive start from the visitors, Altona, tonight. I think they've had plenty of possession and territory, really pushing Green Gully back deep, and across the course of a game, that'll really build the pressure and make it a challenge for this home side, which is short on confidence. They've failed to win their last four and lost 3, Green Gully, so they would have been keen for a fast start. Stephen Downs certainly would have been, but to see them push back so much against this Altona side won't be the start that they were after, and just finds them building more pressure on themselves and giving themselves a greater mountain to climb as this match wears on.
Of course, Altona have been quite unlucky in a lot of their games. They've done well, had patches of possession and been ahead in a lot of games and conceded late. So this is a great start from them, but there has been a trend of theirs to give away points near the end. So we will see what the 90 minutes does bring us. Magic travelling forward. Looks like Castiello. Jay Davies winning the ball in the middle. Walker again, he's had quite a lot of the ball early. And finds Jego in the middle. Neat little turn. Here's Kamara. Jego again. Walker once again the ball on this right side. What can he do? They're happy just to keep possession for the moment. Keep the ball moving through Crooks. Davies. Combining Alex Salmon, two Englishmen. Here's McShane. He's pinched it off Jones. McShane driving forward. Can he be the keeper? Oh, he slots it wide. What a fantastic chance there for Altona Magic and John McShane.
Well, yeah, absolutely right, Matt. That was a golden opportunity for the big striker for Altona. Perhaps not the position where he's most comfortable scoring from, considering it was on the run and at his feet. But nonetheless, he'll be bitterly disappointed with that effort, just pulling it across the goal. No, really, I mean, considering how well they've started Altona, and you mentioned how often they start games well or play well but drop points near the end, they have to take those kinds of opportunities when they're on top, as they have been in the early parts of this game, and John McShane will expect much better of himself as this game wears on.
Well, they're the chances I think you need to take when you're down the bottom, but again, luck just seems to find a way against you. McShane with a glorious opportunity. Jonesy won't be happy with him losing the ball, but it still remains 0-0. Gully yet to really go forward. See what Alex Salmon can do. He's been prolific in last season especially. Big fan of his, and see him live for the first time in a long time here tonight as Jordan Hall carries forward. Kamara makes a run in behind, and Walker looks to take his space. His first touch was neat, finds Jego, pressured by Leah, has to turn back and plays the ball to Jay Davies. I love seeing Jay Davies play a little bit higher, just so creative, but can create things from anywhere, however, as he links up with T-Boy Kamara. And again, the ball, Gully just being very patient so far.
Absolutely, and you mentioned the importance. Well, there's a ball over the top now, so a chance for Green Gully, but should be cleared by Altona. Indeed it is. Just wanted to point out how important Jay Davies is to this Green Gully side. He's missed a couple of games over the last few weeks through injury, and you've seen already in this first 10 minutes or so what a pivotal role he plays in every spell of possession for Green Gully. He's a metronome for the side. He breaks up plays from the opposition and picks out passes to create attacking opportunities for Green Gully. And we're seeing his influence already exerted on this game, and I think the home fans will be thrilled to have him back, as will Stephen Downs.
Of course, we're managing umbrellas and team sheets tonight in our hands. It's a cold and wet evening. The rain is just dropping away. Well, the only ones silly enough to be out in the elements on this side of the ground, myself and Oscar Drew. Of course, the majority of the crowd. Oh, that's a strong challenge from Stojcevski. But Walker takes the advantage, finds Salmon in the area! Just wide. Well, there's a very strong challenge here from Johnny Stojcevski on T-Boy Kamara. There's an allegation, I guess, of where the studs raised. Oscar, how did you see that one?
Yeah, it's another one of those ones where two players going for the ball, I think, with Johnny Stojcevski just misjudging what he was doing. You can see the Green Gully players appealing to the referee for some severe punishments, but the referee appearing happy to settle for a yellow. A bit of a bullet dodge, not just in the Stojcevski challenge, although the referee is going to have a chat with his assistant, so we'll see what the outcome of this is. It is just a yellow for John Stojcevski. So Altona do escape unscathed in terms of the number of players on the pitch. You can see T-Boy Kamara still down receiving treatment. It was a firm challenge. It's the kind of thing that's, well, it's good to see in one sense as a spectator, but of course the welfare of the players is of utmost importance, and T-Boy clearly suffering ill effects from that challenge as he continues to receive treatment.
Well, the messages coming through on Facebook, and a little text message here to myself saying that was probably a red, and Stojcevski may be very, very lucky. So I haven't had the benefit of a replay, but I am being told it was a hefty challenge on our stream. So the referee, Lockie Keevers, did speak to his assistant and has issued a yellow card, and it looks like Kamara won't be taking any further part in the game. You see at the moment the physio's waving away the benches, or waving at the benches, so saying he won't be going any further. So we might have a look at the possible substitutes as well. Oscar, I might get you to run through who the possibilities are for Green Gully, and I'll try and have a look at who is coming on.
Just briefly to point out, so I did just take a look at the replay there, Matt, and I mean, I can see why the commentators are suggesting that could have been a red. Stojcevski's boot was high. It didn't look like it was a malicious challenge, but certainly very dangerous, and you can see the damage it's done to T-Boy Kamara. In terms of the bench for Green Gully, they've got Melvin Beckett, Anthony Poljak, David Thompson, the reserve goalkeeper, Dane Milovanovic, and Nick Jaritso on the bench. You'd say that the most obvious replacement then for Kamara would be Anthony Poljak running down that wing. So we'll see if he's the one who makes his way on.
And it's just trying to see who they are bringing on now as it's quite a way. It does look to be Anthony Poljak, of course. Oscar Drew, the man in the know here tonight, providing our special comments. And Anthony Poljak will come on the right-hand side. He's quite a creative player. Of course, he'll be enjoying the fact his opponent, Stojcevski, is already on a yellow card, and I'm sure Downsy has encouraged him to get forward and drive at him. Induce that second yellow where you can. Of course, Altona did receive a red card last week. Stefan Ristic, the man responsible with 2 yellow cards. So they wouldn't want to go down to 10 again. As De Silva heads the ball away to Ruthven, combines well with Leah, and out to Stojcevski. You'd imagine if he was playing in a big stadium in Europe, he'd be getting booed right now for the challenge he made on Kamara. And McShane challenges Tyson. Troy Ruthven. What are your thoughts, Oscar, on a hard defensive midfielder wearing gloves?
Well, I can understand why he's doing it tonight. It's not a particularly pleasant evening, so perhaps we'll give Troy a pass for that decision, at least on this particular evening, Matt. But just going back to the fact that considering the injury concerns for T-Boy Kamara, we didn't get a chance to point out that Altona certainly escaped the attacking threat from the salmon header. A big opportunity for Green Gully of their own. So both sides now have had clear opportunities through on goal with their main strikers, who would certainly feel like they should be doing better than they did. But for now, at least, it remains 0-0.
It certainly does. Oscar avoiding the question like an expert, not wanting to buy into my little bit of controversy. Just watching Kamara just hobble away on that far sideline near the halfway line. He looks to be in a bit of pain as well, so this has certainly got caught by Stojcevski. He does remain on the ground. Gully will try and get themselves an opportunity here through the other Kamara. Sends it in, but Ruthven knocks it away. Jay Davies picks it up. Geordie Hall wanting to drive himself forward. And delivers forward. And unorthodox from young Markovski. Of course, whose dad was the manager of Altona Magic earlier in the year, but no longer now, as Savas Patikas is the man charged with helping them to avoid relegation. Their massive win last week has given them a great chance. They're out of the relegation zone, albeit on goal difference at the moment. Of course, St Albans and Dandenong City, the other teams, all on 10 points as well. Gully themselves are on 16, so a win tonight for Altona Magic, Oscar, will take them just 3 points shy of Green Gully. As ball played in for the substitute Polyak, but Stephen King gets out well. So, yeah, as I was saying, 3 points the difference possibly if Altona win tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, it's been coming for Green Gully. They've had a poor, well, certainly since the restart following the lockdown, they really haven't hit their stride since I mentioned the fact that they haven't won any of their last 4 games, Green Gully, and they're just edging closer and closer towards the drop zone. And that problem is exacerbated by the fact that the bottom 3 teams you mentioned are all picking up points in the last few weeks, including, of course, Altona. So a win for Altona tonight, and Green Gully will really start to feel the pressure of the teams below them creeping up behind them and putting pressure on Green Gully after such a positive start to the season. They'll find themselves right down in a relegation scrap, but another opportunity here for the home side.
So, chance now for Gully. Jay Davies, the man tasked with the corner. Geordie Hall and Daniel Jones slowly making their way into the area. Looks a bit deliberate stroll to arrive nice and late. Of course, Salmon there as well, strong in the air. He missed a chance earlier. Polyak just sitting on the keeper's toes, waiting for any seconds. What can Green Gully do? It's Jay Davies. Flat delivery. There's Hall. He can't get up. Jones whips it back in. No, he won't. Ball sent into the area. McShane, who loves a header, nods it away well. Crooks picks it up and just drops it back in to Walker. Ball to Sammy. Tried to flick it on to Jay Davies. Couldn't get there, and ball set forward, and Hall nods it away. Walker can't keep it in.
Well, it's been a good 5 minutes or so, to be honest, since the T-Boy Kamara injury, if I'm being honest. But Green Gully have established themselves in this game. They've had a good spell of possession and territory, putting the pressure back onto Altona. So now the challenge is for the visitors to respond, to see if they can hold strong under the face of this pressure and indeed perhaps move forward and create an opportunity of their own, as we see at the moment through Vinny Leah.
Leah does have the ball. He puts it into the area. Numbers were waiting, but Hall gets there first, and Ruthven challenged strongly by Jay Davies, but Ruthven too strong. Markovski. Now to Sete. What can he do? Tries to find Hatzamarad at the back post, but Jeremy Walker there. It's a small foul, but the referee says no, or plays the advantage. Polyak drives forward. Here is Jeremy Walker once again. Lockie Keever's having an argument with Alex Salmon, I think, about the advantage. There is Daniel Jones to find Sean Timmins, the Brummie. Of course, a stalwart here now in Victorian NPL football. Fantastic left foot on him. Polyak combining with Davies, and again Altona just happy to let Gully have the ball in their own half. A little bit of pressure from Adara, but not too much, as now Jones travels forward. McShane, again the ball's bounced back, so very patient again. We talked about it earlier, but still patient from Gully.
Absolutely, perhaps now looking to create a bit more of a threat through the likes of Polyak, and the ball through, but off his line quick is Stephen King to claim. As mentioned, a good spell for Green Gully, really looking to, well, play the role of the traditional home team, I think. Establish the tempo, control the game, and put, well, take the game into their own hands, I think is the best way to put it, really. Just by not allowing Altona any possession or any meaningful periods of time in which to feel comfortable, or as if they can build up their own play. So, and a night where Altona will probably have to remain steadfast and strong, and their concentration will have to remain intact for the duration of the evening. Another late challenge there, referee pulling out the card yet again. I think that time for Jay Davies getting involved in the contest. So plenty of physicality in this contest, which is great to see, apart from, of course, the injury to T-Boy Kamara. But a bit stop-start for the last few minutes, I think, Matt.
Yeah, I just had a look at that challenge from Jay Davies. A little bit late. I guess in the context of the game, it's probably a yellow. The third play to go in the book today. The rain appears to have stopped here at Green Gully Reserve as well, which is a welcome sight for all. Here is Sete, former Melbourne Victory, and I think he spent some time at Brisbane Roar for a while as well. In the area, looks like a cut back. It was Markovski, I believe. He wins a corner for the away team. And who are the targets this corner, do you think, Oscar? You've got McShane, and some of the big centre-backs get forward as well.
Absolutely, plenty of tall timber for Green Gully. Just a word there for Mehmedi Kamara there. An excellent sliding block from the winger. Not really what he's known for or what he's in the team for Green Gully, but that was excellent play from him, and he's denied Altona a good opportunity on goal there, but the threat not yet over. Plenty of tall timber, not least amongst which is, of course, John McShane for Altona.
What can Altona do? Ball to the area, flicked on at the near post, headed away and easily claimed by Jared Tyson. Not too much danger there. Gully committed to playing the ball out from the back today. And these testing conditions, and now they look to push forward through Kamara, but a great challenge. It was Markovski. Really stepped up to the occasion this year as young Jonas Markovski. Davies just trying to find the opening. As you hear from the assistant coach of Green Gully, on board didn't come through the effects mic, but he liked the picture changed and liked to keep the ball moving. Of course, Steve Laurie, a man who's played at the highest level of football, spent time in England, and I think he might have played for Altona Magic as well, a little bit before my time, but I'm pretty sure he spent some time there too. So the geezer, as he's known, and he's not very happy with his team there, a bit too slow.
Yeah, but credit absolutely due to Altona. They've done a really good job at keeping themselves compact and tight and not allowing themselves to be drawn out by the likes of Jay Davies for Green Gully. So if they can maintain that and perhaps look to hit more on the counter as the match wears on, because Green Gully certainly seem intent on keeping possession and trying to pick their way through the Altona defence. But for now, that's proving a really difficult challenge, and for that I think we have to give credit to Altona and the likes of Troy Ruthven and Vince Lear getting back and protecting the back four really effectively.
They certainly have, as Altona with a chance now, and Sete, so dangerous when he's driving at players, but plays the ball just behind Vinny Lear. It wasn't the right moment to play that, and a little bit of pressure now as Polyak pressures and Jeremy Walker steps up on Dimmy. That's a Maratis, but he switches the ball to Markovski. Fantastic switch. What can Markovski do against Kamara? Kamara again doing very well defensively. Of course, that's Mamadi Kamara we're talking about. T-Boy Kamara being taken off earlier after a strong challenge from Johnny Stojcevski. So the rain does appear to have stopped now. A bit nicer from our commentary position. 26 minutes played at Green Gully Reserve. Green Gully 0, Altona Magic 0. A game with significant importance to both teams' aspects and prospects for the season. Of course, Dandenong City and Oakley kicking off very soon as well. Long ball played to Kamara, but over his head. Oscar, what do you make of the opening half an hour? We talked about Green Gully keeping possession and Altona just keeping their shape, and I think the game's balanced out a bit more now as well. Altona was certainly on the attack early on, but things have certainly balanced right out.
Yeah, they certainly have, Matt. I think we're seeing the pattern that will likely continue for a large portion of the game. Of course, Altona started really brightly and with plenty of possession and promising attacks, but for now seem to have settled for keeping their structure in shape and making it difficult, making themselves difficult to break down. I guess is the best way to put it, but they certainly still have plenty of attacking threat on the counter, as we're seeing at the moment through John Stojcevski.
Stojcevski delivers in the area. It's probably not the right ball to play. When there's conditions, anything can happen, but if you're trying to find McShane as your target, you really want to try and maximise his aerial strength. But with the weather tonight and the ball skimming off the surface, it's always another chance. anything can happen. The ball gets in that area as Salmon picks it up and Leah just knocks the ball away.
Yeah, and I mean, for all the possession that Green Gully have had tonight, we've seen so much of it restricted to not only their own half, but also the likes of Jeremy Walker and Jay Davies just holding the ball up, waiting and prodding, trying to find a way through unsuccessfully. So unable to get the ball up to their attackers, the likes of Alex Salmon and Anthony Polyak, since he's come on, has barely been able to have a touch, which again is a credit to Altona, but that's I think key in their progression to providing more attacking threat. But for now, it's Altona who are providing more attacking threat as well as being defensively solid.
Speaking of attacking threat, here is Hattie Maradas, but the assistant referee again thwarts the attack for Altona. Certainly not the fan, Hattie Maradas, of that, the linesman over there. So for all the possession, and we haven't really seen too much in terms of attacking threats. We had McShane who broke through early and a chance for Alex Salmon, but really no keeper's been tested yet. So half an hour gone. I don't think any team has registered a shot on target at the moment. Of course, we love to watch an attacking game as we wait for someone to source a ball. Of course, not many fans on this outer side. With the rain and poor conditions here at Gully, we can be thankful it's not windy. It's normally a very windy place, and especially up here on this hill. But tonight, a little bit of rain, very skiddy surface. See who can adapt best as Jones drives forward. And this could be what they need, Green Gully, to bring that central defender into the midfield area as he plays the ball to Kamara. I thought he wouldn't get there, but he's very, very quick, and Markovski was there to cut him off in a corner. The result for Green Gully. So up go the big boys. Hall and Jones and Jay Davies will get across to take it. We've already seen Alex Salmon miss one chance in the air. What can they do now, Green Gully? The clock ticks to 30 minutes exactly. Davies on the ball. Jones arrives late to the edge of the area. Looks like a set play. Jego under pressure, plays with Davies. He's offside. He'll let the ball go out. Man, wasted opportunity there, Oscar.
Yeah, that'll be really disappointing for Stephen Downs, as you mentioned. Probably some kind of set play, but Altona were alert and quick to close down the space afforded to Jego. So another good piece of defensive play from Altona, but more disappointment for Green Gully. Just seeing there, it was Dan Jones who created that attack by taking a bit of a risk by carrying the ball forward into the opposition half. Perhaps that's the kind of play that the Green Gully will need to break down this Altona defence. They're not providing much threat down the middle, Altona more so down the wings, so perhaps Jones feeling confident enough to venture outside of his own half and try pick out Kamara as he did in that instance.
Here's Hall looking to find Kamara, and he does this time, and Kamara lively when he faces forward, now facing backwards, forces to keep the ball with Timmins and Salmon. Well pressured from to Silva. Vinny Leah finds Dimi Hatamaradis. He breaks through. Sete, McShane waiting at the back post almost. Couldn't get there. Falls to Vinny Leah. And the former A-League man with a great strike and well held by Jared Tyson.
Absolutely, we've seen him hit plenty of those over the years, haven't we, Vinny Leah? That was a great strike. He caught it clean, and there was certainly some movement, just not enough to trouble the Gully goalkeeper. So still posing a threat, Altona, when they get some possession, but they might have given away here. No, not in this instance. They do escape. So, as you say, a pretty balanced game, I think, at this point, Matt. Both sides having spells of play where they'd feel comfortable. Green Gully, more possession, less attacking threat, and the opposite for Altona. Still plenty of time to go in this first half, but Green Gully will, I think, be looking for a bit quicker play and ball movement to try and unpick this Altona defence. Altona very happy and settled and not having to do a whole lot of moving to keep to keep Green Gully out. So as long as that's the case, they'll be happy. And I think Stephen Downs will be asking his side to perhaps show a bit more intent and aggression when they have the ball to try and find a way through.
So that analysis coming to you from Oscar Drew, providing our special comments tonight, and very in-depth analyser of the game. One thing I've noticed with Green Gully is they love to maintain their width. You see Polyak out nice and wide, really stretching this defence, and the ball tried to get out to Polyak, but he couldn't get there, and Stoichevsky gets there first. Jego finds Polyak. Now, the defence having to shift a little bit with Stoichevsky caught a little bit high at the park. What can Polyak do? Referee and the assistant referee find a free kick for Altona there. Don't ask me why. I couldn't see too much wrong with it. I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Lino, who's much, much closer than me. Of course, my mate Lockie Keever's in charge today. Every game I commentate, Lockie finds a way to be the main man in the middle. So Stephen King, the man brought over from Western Australia on transfer deadline day after the injury to Chris Oldfield. Of course, Griffin McMaster was the other keeper they had at the time, but he's since moved on. I believe he's at Fitzroy City at the moment, or he was. And here is Altona breaking forward. Markovski went Apparatus, tries to find Markovski the back post, but again, this linesman, the flag's gone up once again.
Yeah, and it's Hatzimuratis again. He keeps finding his way, finding a way to drift offside. It would be really disappointing for the manager, and of course for Hatzimuratis to keep finding himself in these great spaces. You can see he's very eager to exploit the space that Jeremy Walker leaves behind, but just going a bit too early on a number of occasions in this first half. A number of warning signs have been given to Green Gully down that wing, so it's up to them to remedy that and to find a way to reduce that threat. But for now, they're escaping, and they're fortunate that Hatzimuratis is finding his way just to stray offside. But a free kick going out for John Stoichevsky for Altona, so they'll be able to regain some possession.
If Altona can find their way in that final third and just hold their runs a little bit, the opportunities will come. Of course, Hatzimuratis has been caught offside a couple of times. So Altona will start from the back and try and build up. Markovski wanting to throw in front of the Green Gully bench. Gully switching their wingers as well. I'm monkey you to have a look at that, Oscar Drew, and we'll see if Polyak and Kamara, what they can do on opposite sides now. Kamara very narrow at the moment on this right-hand side, the near side to us. Well, turning the ball over. They're in the middle of the park, and can Altona make them pay? Knows the answer, and the quick counter-attack the other way, possibly, but De Silva steps in, finds McShane, or can't find McShane. He was expecting Hatzimuratis to be behind him, but Timmy had come inside to try and help his team win the ball. As Kamari, first time on the right-hand side here, drives forward. Castiello just gets there and plays it back to King. Long searching ball to McShane on his noggin. Scotsman holds the ball up. Neat turn, Hatzimuratis, and finds Ruthven who wants it. Polyak pressures him, but Ruthven calm under pressure. De Silva finds Markovski, and he's got room in front of him to gallop onto. So Jonas Markovski, the youngest of the Markovski brothers, finds McShane. Just can't quite combine. Kamara goes forward. Jego pushing out to the right. He'll be a danger if he can get there, but Ruthven breaks things up. He does that so well, Troy Ruthven, doesn't he?
He absolutely does. Just wondering about the switch of flanks, as you mentioned, from Green Gully. Kamara coming out here on this near side, the right wing. Perhaps just Stephen Downs looking for another route to goal as the linesman flags in this instance, so no threat on this occasion. But wondering if Stephen Downs is just trying to mix things up and look for an alternative route to goal. Of course, John Strojewski on that yellow card, so you wonder if maybe Kamara's trickery and skills on the ball could potentially lure him into a challenge that could, of course, get him sent off, could be the thinking. Because that's the kind of thing that Green Gully at the moment would be looking for to make it easier to break down this Altona defence, because Altona remain staunch in their play and difficult to break down. They've got a bit under 10 minutes to go to see out the half, and I think that they'll be really happy if they can go in with their clean sheet intact.
Well, they certainly will be happy with what's happened so far. They won't be happy with what I'm about to tell you, though. It's Dandenong City 1, Oakley 0. So at the moment, Altona have drifted back into the relegation zone. Still plenty of games to play, plenty of points to play for, but here it's Dandenong City 1, Oakley 0. Braden Mann, someone who scored plenty of goals in recent times, is the man who scored today. It's a strong challenge from Jonesy. Ruthven on the ball. Looks to find Hatzimaratis, but he can't keep it in. How does that fit with this Altona team now? Dandenong City leading 1-0. Of course, puts them on 13 points in the live ladder. Altona still on 10 or 11 if you call it a live ladder right now.
Well, and of course, in the other team it doesn't favour at all is Green Gully, because that puts so much pressure on them for this game. If they were to drop 3 points tonight and Dandy City were to see out that game, then they'd be only 3 points away, or it might be 4 points from the relegation zone, Green Gully. So pressure building, it feels like every match that goes on Green Gully as they go through this slump in form, and they'll be keen to arrest it as we head into the latter stages of this first half. But for the moment, it's Altona who continue to pose a threat.
Markovski was the man with the jinky footwork out wide. Did very, very well. They can't seem to convert. We talked about there's been limited chances. Of course, Vinny Leah with the only shot on target. His stinging strike earlier. McShane had a great chance early for Altona, and of course Alex Salmon as well for the home side. But it's still 0-0. 40 minutes played. We're approaching half time, and Polyak just tried to get the ball into Crooks, but well read by Janelle De Silva. Neat little combination with Ruthven, Leah. And here is a ball in behind, and Sete looked to be offside, but this time the flag stayed down, and a great chance maybe goes begging because Sete thought he was offside there, Oscar.
Yeah, Sete's such a threat. He's got such pace and such ability on the ball, as I've already mentioned. It's been a good last few minutes from Altona. They've reversed the pressure, the pressure direction in this game back onto the home side as they press for perhaps to snatch a lead heading into half-time. It's now incumbent on Green Gully really to maintain their shape. I think that on the whole, both sets of defences have had a solid first half, apart from perhaps a moment or two of lapse. But on the whole, I think especially both central defensive pairings have been really solid and cut out plenty of attacks, so credit to both sides for that. But for now, it's Altona who continue to press, but Green Gully avoid this little passage of play from Altona and will look to get their foot back on the ball themselves.
Well, the pressure was relieved momentarily. Castiello back to his keeper. He's under pressure from Salmon. Here is Jared Tyson and Jordan Hall. The centre-backs of Green Gully have had quite a lot of possession. Altona are happy to let the ball just stay in their own half and sit back and get numbers in there. Such threats on the wings with Sete and Hatzimaratis. Kamara just tucking inside, getting away from his direct opponent, Stojcevski, and no one really collecting in the middle. Davies out wide to Polyak. He'll drive forward, but once again, we're thwarted by an assistant referee. So both teams pushing the limits out wide, looking to really get in behind the opposition's back four. I don't mind that. I always say to my teams when I'm coaching, if you get caught offside looking to get balls in behind. It's not the worst thing in the world. It shows that intent of really trying to get him behind. So it's really important as McShane just clips. Might have been Crooks. The screen was very loud for a gentle clip from McShane, but the big Scotsman doing some damage maybe. A chance to send the big boys forward, but the big boys might actually just play out from the back. So Hall will restart things with Jones, who'll drive forward in that left foot. He'll look for Salmon. Can't find him. Stoichevsky can't deal with it. It's Kamara. Can he turn and face? He finds Walker. Walker into the area. Numbers for Green Gully. Can't clear it too well. It's Crooks on the volley. Well saved by Stephen King. Down goes Jay Davies. And a penalty's awarded. Well, Davies went down. The referee, Lockie Keevers, pointed to the spot straight away. I think Jonas Markovski was the man who brought him down. And, well, we have a defining moment. It's 44 minutes played here at Green Gully. So I just watched my replay screen. You see a great strike. Well saved. And then, just into the back of Davies. Very hard to see. But we'll trust the referee's opinion. Not many arguments from the Altona players either. That normally gives it away. Markovski gets a yellow card. I think he might have been muckying up the penalty spot. His foot was just rubbing around the area, but Keevers gives him a yellow card, and wow, what a chance we have now. 45th minute, right before half-time. Big chance for Green Gully. So Salmon will be the man for Gully. Stephen King. What can he do for Altona Magic? Here is Alex Salmon from the spot. Salmon for Gully. Buries it. 1-0 to the home side. The ball demolished into the corner. And Green Gully take the lead. And it took him a penalty to get there, Oscar.
And what a good penalty it was from Alex Salmon. Slammed it into the roof of the net. Absolutely no chance for the goalkeeper, Stephen King. You can see all the quality of the Englishman on display there, and his fellow countryman Jay Davies winning the penalty. It looked like he went down a bit easy, but using all of his experience and guile to get his body in front of the ball and draw the contact from De Silva. A really disappointing end to the first half for Altona, and Stephen Downs will know that his Green Gully side are perhaps a bit fortunate to look like they'll be heading into the break in the ascendancy, but nonetheless quality and experience pays off for Green Gully as we approach half time.
Again, Altona, they've had some hard luck all year. Late penalties, late goals. Of course, the infamous penalty they conceded at Melbourne Knights. And again today, it's a decision that was probably there, but you know the luck's just not on their side. When you're down, you're down. And here's Walker. Can he rub salt into the wound? And Ruthven gets across, and Walker, this little clip, might send us through to half-time almost. So we are in injury time of the first half. Alex Salmon, the man whose goal separates the two teams. Brilliantly taken penalty. It's King. Sends the ball forward. Altona wanting to react early and quickly. Here's Hatzi Maratis. Out wide, McShane. He'll try and find Sete in the area, but drops it back to Hatzi Maratis. Vinny Leah. Here's the overlap. Stoichevsky delivers. Daniel Jones, too strong in the air. Vinny Leah, again Stoichevsky. Again, he rips it into the area. Jordan Hall this time heads it away. I think we've got to work on these runs and timing of the movements in the area, Altona. It's all good putting balls in, but need McShane to find the end of them. Only seconds to go until we do reach half-time. Here's Janelle De Silva, the Brazilian. His pass a bit weak and cut off by Jay Davies, and Lockie Keevy signals half-time. So Green Gully 1, Altona Magic 0. A late strike from Alex Salmon from the penalty spot is what separates the two teams at the moment. Oscar Drew, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Green Gully, they're probably a little bit fortunate to go into halftime with the lead. They did have the vast majority of possession in the half, but didn't look like finding a way through. But as I say, the experience of Jay Davies and then the quality of Alex Salmon to find a way through, winning the penalty and converting it. It'll be interesting to see how they come out in the second half, I think, Matt, because it'll likely be quite different, seeing as Altona it'll now be incumbent on them to find a way through. But they won't be giving up hope yet. They've certainly looked like a decent threat throughout the majority of the first half. So I wouldn't count them out yet, but Green Gully will be very happy to go in with the 1-0 lead.
As the Maltese band gets underway at half time, we'll leave you for the moment. It's Green Gully 1, Altona Magic 0. Welcome back. We are here at Green Gully Reserve. Of course, the home side currently 1-0 ahead thanks to Alex Salmon. Penalty in the 45th minute. Looks like there's no subs from either team, and Oscar Drew will run you through those lineups again to make you familiar very shortly. Of course, T-Boy Kamara went off in the first half. A strong challenge from Johnny Stojcevski, and Anthony Polyak replaced him. Green Gully 1, Altona Magic 0. It's a huge result as it stands for Green Gully. And a result that will send Altona Magic back into the relegation zone as it stands. So, Alex Salmon combining with Walker. He looks to send a long ball forward and throw in one. Can you see any changes? Looks like the same teams in the opening halves, Oscar.
Yeah, no, nothing major to report so far. Of course, Altona will be very interesting to keep tabs on how they approach this half now that they're behind. Of course, spent a long time in that first half sitting back and waiting for Green Gully to come onto them and just remaining compact and solid, so that it was really difficult for the home side. But now that Green Gully have the lead, it'll be interesting to see if that, I guess, encourages Altona to come out of their shells a bit more and really take the game on and provide a good end-to-end contest in the second half.
We've got 45 minutes to find out what Altona can do. And Kamara, could he make their job a lot harder? He drives forward, but to Silva. Too strong, and a little bit of space for Nick Sete. It's Ruthven. As you mentioned at halftime, I've got a pair of gloves on as well now. It's getting nice and cold, so thankfully there's no rain at the moment. There's a mistake from Altona, trying to get one of the Gully players booked, but didn't work out well, and Gully break forward rather. That's a Timmins. Crooks demanding the ball. He'll find Davies, the man who was fouled for the penalty in the first half, as De Silva just dragged back by Salmon. What do you think we can expect from Altona in the second half? Oh, I might come back to you in a moment. There's Vinny Leah. Not very happy with Jay Salmon. Oh, sorry, Alex Salmon rather. Just slowing the game down a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Green Gully have started this second half really brightly, looking to take the initiative away from Altona, which I think is really important for Stephen Downs' side to do, just to keep Altona feeling uncomfortable and as if they're on the back foot. So, well, as it stood for the first few minutes, it hasn't really mattered what Altona were intending to come out to do, because Green Gully have been all over them. But we'll see if that can continue as the half progresses, or if Altona will establish themselves in the second half. And you'd imagine that we'd see a bit more willingness to take the game on and take a few risks through the middle of the park, as we see Ruthven on the ball at the moment.
Gully content with defending in their own half for the time being. And we'll see if that persists throughout this second half. As Castiello finds Stojcevski. Vinny Leo just fell over his own feet. As Kamara drives forward. We know he's quick. This is very well defended by Janelle De Silva. And a somewhat controversial decision to say the Green Gully players, as De Silva and Kamara went side by side. How did you see that one, Oscar?
Well, I thought it was really clever defending by De Silva to get his body in front. I think the Green Gully players will argue that he was on his way down anyway, but you could see it looked as if Kamara did have a bit of his shirt, and the referee is always inclined to pay a free kick when you see that action. So, frustration for Green Gully, but good defending from De Silva, I thought.
I agree with you, as Altona pressing forward. This time it's Ruthven and Vinny Leah. Markovski wanting the ball in behind, but Adara gets himself on the ball, and the ball recycled with Altona. Castiello can't see anything forward, and will drop back to the West Australian King. Gully just holding their shape and defensive line. I'm really looking to see, that's the space I wanted Setter to find the pocket in behind, McShane out wide, Markovski. He's got time and space to measure his cross. Markovski into the area. And goal kick given. Wow. Hatzimaratis not happy. He's had some arguments with the officials tonight. It's Hatzimaratis. The assistant referees have given him nothing, as you might say, but a bit hard to tell from here whose ball that was. The referee says it's a goal kick for Jared Tyson. We mentioned that T-Boy Kamara went off earlier and Anthony Polyak came on for him. We might get Oscar Drew in a moment to look at the substitutions of both teams and see who's available on the benches, who might be the game changer, the one who can seal the game for Gully, or who can salvage some points for Altona. Maybe find a winner. I'll let him have a look at who's warming up and who's available for both teams. Of course, Altona decimated by injuries and suspensions at the moment. Long searching ball for Gully. Oh, Vince Leah just showing his class. Sete was trying to get him behind and Vince Leah fouled. I thought he was fouled, but no, says the referee. Here is that man Leah again on the ball. Hatzimaratis. A look away pass from Markovski, finds Sete. Sete behind. Oh, it's a great chance and it goes begging. A fantastic save from Jared Tyson. But what a ball from Markovski to Nick Sete. Well, Oscar, what a chance. Sete got him behind and just couldn't quite finish off for Altona.
Well, you're absolutely right to credit the goalkeeper, Jared Tyson. That was an outstanding save. Just got enough behind the ball to prevent it from creeping over the line. So they dodge a bullet in that instance. De Green Gully as Altona caught offside once again. It was an excellent pass from Jonas Markovski, who's having an excellent season in one of the few shining lights for Altona in what's been a rough season. Sorry, but you're asking about the benches tonight, and Altona really typically of their season dependent on youth. Really, the both Marios and Stefanos Gerondaris, Daniel Radenkovic, plenty of youth on Altona's bench who they'll be turning to if they want to find a way through as the half wears on. John McShane winning a free kick in a dangerous position there. But of course Altona, so much squad turnover as the season's worn on, and we see that reflected in their bench tonight. So not a whole lot of reserves or depth in the team, but well, when you've got young kids, there's plenty of the unknown to be seen. But for now, a good opportunity with John McShane and Troy Ruthven standing over this free kick.
It'll be interesting to see who it is now, if it is McShane or Troy Ruthven. Both will fancy it. McShane probably the power, Ruthven the placement. Anything that skids off the floor could be very dangerous as well. Lockie Keevers just getting the ball back 10 yards. The Altona bench haven't been very happy with Keevers the last few minutes. Sal Vatikas has let him know that as well. So it looks like it'll be Ruthven. Oh, McShane. McShane with a driving strike! John McShane! Oh, it's hit the crossbar! What a fantastic strike from the Scotsman. We said if it was going to be McShane, it would be power, and power it was. And what a fantastic strike. So unlucky for Altona. Again, Oscar, that's the story of their season.
Yes, as you say, two golden opportunities for the visitors. McShane, what a strike it was. He struck it sweetly and he got the movement away so that Tyson was absolutely no chance if it did just find its way to the inside of the post. But as it were, and as you say, luck consistently going against Altona this season, as it did once again. But I think nonetheless they'll be really happy with their start to the second half because they're not only showing intent but also showing quality, so that we should certainly not write them off as potentially finding a way through Green Gully as this half wears on.
Well, that's his second chance of the game. McShane, his first came in the first half. Drove through on goal, but drove it wide. But that's a fantastic strike. Right on the edge. The crossbar and the upright. As Gully go forward. King comes out to claim. Geez, how much they might rue a couple of centimetres either side. Could have been in. Gully now looking to press a little bit higher than they were earlier. Stoichevski, of course, on a yellow card. His challenge in the first half as King launches forward towards McShane. He's a little bit late on Crooks, but the referee lets it go. In behind is Hatzimaradis. He leaves it for Stoichevski. They're onside. It's deflected away. Hatzimaradis challenges Jared Tyson out for a corner. And wow, I think Lockie Keepers might have missed a bit of a knock on Crooks from McShane.
Yeah, I mean, there was a very similar incident in the first half when McShane caught his opponent late with the raised foot. I think perhaps, as you said, a bit fortunate Altona in that instance, but another great opportunity, and now they have another set piece to try find a way through.
Well, they've got to take advantage. So it will be Altona's set piece here for the corner. Can McShane or Castiello find... Here's McShane who gets on the end of it, and it's flicked away. It's a goal kick. Couldn't quite make full contact there, McShane.
Yeah, I mean, Green Gully really struggling to contain the threat of John McShane in the first 10 minutes or so of this second half. We've seen him up and down the pitch, constantly getting on the ball and providing an aerial threat, and they'll really be keen to shut him down. Perhaps the experience of the likes of Jones and Hall, the centre half pairing for Green Gully, will be looking to try and limit his influence on as this game wears on, because he's been central to Altona's attacks in the second half, as he was last week as well when Altona came from behind to get the win. So he's the danger man that Green Gully will need to look out for as this half wears on.
Vinny Leo challenging with Jordan Hall. Markovsky just so calm under pressure. Plays it back to King, and Gully looking to press forward through Polyak, who does well to put enough pressure on Costiello and wins the ball. Gully looking to extend their lead. They do lead 1-0. Alex Salmon, the man who scored. Of course, his 45th minute penalty is what separates the two teams at the moment. Here's Polyak. Finds Walker. Walker delivers. No real movement from Salmon or Kamara. Castiello, the man signed earlier in the year. He came from New South Wales Premier League. McShane flicks it on. Hatzimaradis. Was he fouled by Walker? Referee says no. The Altona bench went up for a moment. Not much in it for me. But a great flick on again from McShane, as Oscar Drew mentioned earlier. He's the man who's getting Altona slowly but surely back into this game. Downs, the manager of Gully, just trying to get his team going. Altona have been the most dominant the last few minutes, Oscar.
They absolutely have been, Matt. It's a real reversal of what we saw in the first half. Now it's Altona with all the possession and all the territory, building the pressure on the hosts. You can see that Green Gully more willing than they were in the first half to sit back and keep their shape, much like Altona were in the first half. But Altona, they look threatening. They really do look like they could find a way through in this game, especially with John McShane having in the form that he is. So Green Gully will I think, be keen to get a bit more possession and control the game a bit more, so that Altona don't build up too much confidence or feel as if they're in control of the game too much, because as we're seeing, they're providing a constant and real threat in this second half.
So far, that threat has amounted to nothing. But who knows what this last half an hour will bring. We might try and get you a progress score in a minute. In the game between Dandenong City and Oakley, we heard Dandy City were leading 1-0 earlier. That does have ramifications of both these teams. As a header from Ruthven, finds Kamara. Kamara, he puts it in the back of the net. And all of a sudden, it's Green Gully 2, Altona Magic 0. A very, very poor effort from Ruthven. He knows it. And Kamara pounces quickly. And all of a sudden, they've doubled their lead, Oscar.
Well, exactly what Altona didn't need from such an experienced and quality player in Ruthven to give it away to Kamara, who I think has had an excellent game and probably deserves a goal for all the fantastic play he's had, especially since T-Boy has gone off, and he'll certainly be thrilled to have done that, considering that context. But it's so unfortunate for Altona, but in this instance we can't really blame misfortune or bad luck for that concession, because it was all of their own doing. Ruthven, he's had a good game, to be fair to him. He's controlled the ball and he's been a real influential figure in the middle of the park for Altona, but giving away a goal like that, it just breaks your heart for if you're the visitors in tonight's game. They've made their the challenge that faces them in the second half much greater, and Green Gully will, I think, feel even more comfortable sitting back and waiting for Altona to come onto them, because they'll back themselves to avoid conceding 2 goals in the remaining half an hour or so of this match.
Well, it's uncharacteristic from Ruthven. He's been so solid tonight. One of my favourite players in the NPL as well. But Kamara did very, very well to take his chance and slot in the bottom corner. And now the pressure on this Altona Magic team. They're no strangers to pressure. Pressure lives with you down the bottom. And Vinny Leah, what can he do? Get his side going. Here's Ruthven. He can strike from range. He does strike from range. And that ball just sails out of the area. The one positive for Altona is the score coming through from Oakley Cannons, and it's Oakley Cannons 4, Dandenong City 1 at the moment. So that early lead has been well and truly overtaken by a strong Oakley team. And goal difference may be very important later in the year as well, Oscar. So again, 4 goals conceded so far from Dandenong, but it's 2 here, 2 to Green Gully. Of course, a 45th minute strike to Alex Salmon. And a goal in the 52nd minute, or 53rd minute, to Kamara, as John McShane offering some words of advice to Lockie Keevers about ball management and where the balls are. We do find a ball eventually, and Jared Tyson will get us back underway. What does Savas Patikas have in his bag of goodies? We talked about a young, youthful bench. Might be a tactical change we see. Who knows? It's Kamara. Fights with Markovsky for the ball. Kamara drives forward, beats Castiello. Drives it out wide to Jego. Jego the near post, and Jego just hits the side netting. Might have been better off cutting it back, Oscar.
Yeah, he never looked likely from that angle trying to beat the keeper at the near post, but a great sign for Green Gully as they find their way through on goal yet another time in this second half, or in these last couple of minutes. Altona giving them opportunities in Green Gully. They have more than enough quality to take them if they keep getting dished these kinds of chances, as we're seeing. I mean, you ask what Savas Patikas will do for his Altona side as they look to find a way back into this game. In his defence, it's hard to imagine he'll feel as if he needs to change a whole awful lot, considering what a good second half that they've had. But another opportunity here for Green Gully. The ball cut back across as a chance as a player arriving in the box, and the player's pushed. A penalty awarded for Green Gully.
Well. Lockie Keevers produces a card for Adara. And it looked like, I think it was Jego who might have stopped on his run. And just the softest of touches. I'd like to see that one again. I might try and bring up a replay from our end in a moment. It definitely was Adara. So, it's another penalty, the second penalty tonight. Oh, geez, I'm not as convinced on that one as I was in the first one. But, to be fair, Lockie Keevers was only metres away, so he was right there. Adara's hands did go up. I just felt that maybe Jego just stopped in front of him. Not much he could do, but anyway, there's a penalty. And Salmon, can he score his second of the night? Alex Salmon buries it for Green Gully. That's their third. Alex Salmon gets his second. Green Gully lead 3-0, and now this is getting out of hand.
Absolutely, another excellent penalty conversion from Alex Salmon. Again, the goalkeeper having no chance, nestling right in the bottom left corner. Superb from the Green Gully striker. I think I have to agree with you there, Matt. In terms of the penalty, I think that Jego went down soft, but again, he got himself in front of the ball. He protected the space where Idara was trying to get and felt the contact and went down. And it's intelligent play, and it's worked out for them twice this evening, Green Gully. I think we're seeing plenty of experience at play from the home side, and the scoreline is 3-0. It feels so harsh in Altona, especially in the context of this second half, and you'd imagine that this mountain is a bit too steep for them to climb in the remaining half an hour or so of this match.
The scoreline doesn't reflect the game, in my opinion. It's 3-0 at the moment, but this Altona team has been very, very competitive. We've said it numerous times tonight. When you're down, and your luck is not on your side, and that's how it's been tonight. I think it was a penalty. It's one of those ones where you say it's soft, but it's there, you know. So Jeg stops on his rung, and Adara runs into the back of him. It's probably smart from Jego, but the ones you hate to concede is you think that when you're the manager of the team who concedes that, you're furious at the referee, but if it don't get given the other way, you're also furious equally. So a ball into the area, and Jared Tyson comes and gets it, but Lockie Keevers was only metres away, and he's made the decision as Jego, the man who won that penalty. It's clobbered by Ruthven. A bit of frustration. Shawnee Timmins. Davies. Crooks has plenty of time in front of him, but Davies will hold the ball. They're in no rush, Green Gully. They've been very professional tonight, I might use that word. I think that they've taken their time and been composed in moments, and here is Gully again, just controlling the game, and good ball from Davies, who's crunched by Leah late. Polyak, what can he do? Walker finding himself in the area. Polyak delivers. Ruthven sends it away. Lockie Keeves will have a word to Vinny Leah for his late challenge on Jay Davies. Wasn't much in it, I think, but fair play to Lockie Keeves for just having a word and not pulling out a card. Is there any way back for Altona, Oscar?
I mean, it is hard to think so, you'd say. As much as we've praised them tonight for what's been plenty of good play that we've seen from them, it is a youthful bench. Their squad is worn pretty thin, and things just have not fallen their way tonight. And it looks as if tonight will just be another one of those nights where it doesn't happen for Altona. I think that you're right to describe Green Gully's performance as professional, as that ball rolls out comfortably for a goal kick, but that they have taken their chances, particularly Alex Salmon from the spot. He's been clinical, giving the goalkeeper no chance, as we've mentioned, and I guess it's just one of those things where things aren't going your way. Nights like tonight tend to happen, as Altona have found. And it's a big relief and a big weight off Steve Downs' shoulder to get the 3 points if they are to see out the remainder of this game, especially considering the result at Oakley. They'll give themselves a lot of breathing space as we head into the remainder of this game.
So this will be a substitution for the visitors. So Altona Magic bringing off Vinny Leah. So Leah comes off. Just try and see who's coming on. I'll get that for you in just a moment. I'll get Oscar Drew to bring you that news. Oscar, who's coming on for Altona?
It's our Tom Werndl coming on for Altona, so you can understand why Chavez Patikas feels the need to make a change and perhaps give his side a new look heading into the remainder of the game. The free kick in this instance is delivered long, and in fact too long. Referee picks out a free kick for Altona, so they see off that danger, but they'll perhaps now, with Tom Werndl's injection into the game, hope for a new look and a new route to goal as this game is slowly but surely slipping away from them.
Yeah, big Daniel Jones with two hands in the back, a bit of a shove, giving away the free kick. So Altona with a mountain to climb. 69 minutes played here, Green Gully Reserve. The home side, Gully lead 3-0. It could be more in a moment. Polyak driving forward. Jay Davies finds Jego in the middle. Jego combines with Salmon. They'll look for Polyak. Polyak out wide. Cuts across for Kamara. Wow, great chance. Great chance for the home team. Daniel Jones is barking instructions to his players. Relax, get some shape. Don't worry about the clock. Castiello sends it away. And again, Gully in no rush. Salmon! My word! What a strike! Alex Salmon on the turn from the throw-in, puts it in the top corner. Oh, what a strike we've seen from the Englishman. That's his hat-trick. Oscar Drew, what do you think of that one?
I mean, it's far and away the best goal we've seen tonight. What a hit from Alex Salmon, the curling effort. It was perfect the way that he just pinpointed the top right-hand corner, giving Stephen King absolutely no chance of getting anything on that. He's converted 2 penalties with aplomb tonight, but that finished far and away his best. A hat-trick for the Green Gully striker, and he saved the best, perhaps till last, although there's still plenty of time left in this game. But I mean, that's really a technical coach's dream, the way that curled into the top corner, I thought there, Matty.
I think I drew some inspiration from the late Mike Cockerell, a goal we saw here many moons ago when Liam Boland scored against Central Coast Mariners, and the famous call from Cockerell, Boland as the ball drifted into the back of the net, and Alex Salmon creating his own magic here tonight. He's got a hat-trick, and Gully have this one sewn up at 4-0, and now, I dare say, it's about damage limitation for the visitors.
No, I absolutely agree. The game's really slipped away from them in the last 15 minutes or so. Altona, we've seen plenty of the sting and fight in their team has been taken out by this quick succession of 3 goals for Gully. Gully, on the other hand, will certainly, I think, be looking to send a message to the competition, really get a good feeling back around the club by piling on the pressure and maybe finding another goal or two. The challenge now, I think, as you rightly said, Matty, to try see off the remainder of this game without too much more damage. The Green Gully looking to stretch their opponents now out on the far side. The ball attempted to be delivered in, but well managed by the Altona defender, and the danger not averted yet. Still with the throw, still with the possession in the territory, Green Gully, so putting plenty of pressure on Altona. You can imagine the visitors content to sit back and just try to see out the remaining 20 or so minutes of this game. Not much left for them to fight for, apart from perhaps retaining their goal difference, as a corner is one for the home side. So Green Gully, all the play, they've well and truly asserted themselves in this contest and taken complete control with the 4-0 lead, Matt.
They certainly have, and it just doesn't reflect the game to me. I mean, I know they've done well, but if I'm Altona Magic, I talk about damage limitation, not because they've been a bad team, but because I think that they'll send numbers forward. So here is Davies looking for Hall, but Janelle De Silva gets up and wins it. Jego gets a awkward touch, and Jordan Hall with the strike. Unusual strike for him, getting himself forward, and Altona looking to break quickly, but King's clearance not quite up to it as Sete looks to break through, but Walker just professionally steps in front of him and slows things down. There's been another substitution from Green Gully. Luke Jego will be coming off. We'll try and see who's coming on, and more importantly, see if I can understand your handwriting this time, Oscar, as we see who's coming on. Melvin Beckett. Pretty sure he played for Altona as well. So, Altona trailing 4-0. They'll want to have some, at least, respect out of the game. And for those who've watched 90 minutes or the 70-odd minutes we've played so far, you can't help but feel for this Altona team, who definitely aren't 4 goals worse than Green Gully, in my opinion. But those who haven't watched, and pick up the paper tomorrow morning and see the score. It's Polyak now who's been sent through. Stojcevski chasing. Alex Salmon is at the back post. If he can find Salmon, he can't. It's Polyak. Drills it across goal. It falls to Beckett. He can't keep his feet. Jay Davies now just resetting things for Gully. Ball into the area. Salmon, but De Silva gets there. Crooks now. finds Shawnee Timmins. Neat little touch from Alex Salmon out to Kamara. Salmon, of course, hat-trick hero tonight. Although two of those have come from the spot, but no one cares how you score them as long as you score them. Gully playing a bit of keep ball at the moment. Altona can't get near it. Jones sends it back to Tyson and Hall. I think everyone's had a pass. This latest combination gone through almost every player's feet. Jay Davies, little bun on top of his head. Like I said earlier, he's the hairstyle king. He's in the bleach blonde hair a couple of years ago. So always stands out, those hairstyles. Also his footballing ability is second to none too, as Stoichevsky picks the pass. And here is Markovsky. He's through on goal. Markovsky. Oh, he can't quite do it. Jared Tyson with a fantastic save. And hoofed away by Jones. And what a chance for Altona and young Markovsky.
Yes, that's right. And when it rains, it pours for Altona. Another great opportunity through on goal, one-on-one with Jared Tyson. A good save from the goalkeeper, but Markovsky, I think, will feel he should have done a bit better. Didn't get it very far away from the Gully keeper, which made it a relatively regulation save, albeit always tough from that close range. Just on the Melvin Beckett substitution, he should provide an experienced head in midfield as Green Gully look to see out the remainder of this game. Polyak, though, has just been played through nicely, but it's well defended in the end by Altona. It's Beckett now on the ball, looking to charge towards the box. He delivers the ball in, but Stephen Kings comes out to claim very comfortably. And we now look to launch a counter for the visitors. They're 4-0 down, but still looking to try and find a way through, perhaps. Not in this instance, though. Gully resolute in defence, and they'll be very keen to keep their clean sheet for the remaining 15 minutes or so of this game, I think, Matt, because that'll top off what's been a performance where the scoreboard is much more flattering than perhaps the play itself has been. But at this stage of the season, with so much on the line, that's all that Green Gully will be after at this point, is the 3 points, a clean sheet. Stephen Downs' dream. The ball, though, played out wide this time. Another opportunity for Altona to perhaps find a way through. It's good play inside. The player goes down. Referee not interested in that instance. Altona will feel they've been harsh done by there. And the ball in is well cleared by the central defender for Green Gully. Idara keeps the ball in to try and maintain the attack for the visitors. He finds his way past Beckett very effectively. The ball through is headed clear by Gully, so they'll see out yet another attack and now look to use some of the space that's been left in behind. Yet again, though, Altona winning the ball back. Here's Nick Sete down the left wing, looking to trick his way through past Jeremy Walker. He plays the ball to McShane. The ball comes out. The shot catches a deflection, but flies wide of Jared Tyson's post for a corner. A good spell of play here from Altona, I think. They're still fighting, still trying to find a way through. They'll feel it's a goal is the least that they deserve. Appears to be John Stoichevsky making his way over to take the corner here on this near side. Plenty of tall timber from both sides in the box. Stoichevsky's ball, plenty of height. The header is coming, but it's well saved by Jared Tyson. I think it was McShane who got his head on the ball. He did well to direct it into the corner, but just didn't quite get enough purchase on it to generate the pace that would be required to beat Tyson in that instance. And Green Gully avert yet another good play from Altona as they trudge towards what will be a very happy evening, I think, for the home side.
So Altona Magic making a triple sub. I'll send Oscar Drew with his binoculars to see who's coming on. Might have a set of brothers coming on. Oscar? A set, is that the right word? No. A duo? A couple? I don't think the fourth official will be able to keep up with a triple sub with his little board over there. So it looks like Stoichevsky going off. He's on a card, so that makes a lot of sense. Can't see anyone else who's gone off just yet. Of course, Gully making a sub too. Dane Milanovic. He's an easy one to spot. Towers over some of these young substitutes for Altona. John McShane coming off. So Jay Davies makes way for Dane Milanovic for the home side. Still one more sub for Altona. No one knows who's coming off. All sorts happening on the halfway line. And Troy Ruthven looks like the man who'll make way. So it's almost a concession of defeat from Altona, but a great opportunity for some of these youngsters to get some experience as well. So we'll come to you shortly, Oscar, as you try and see who's coming on. So 81 minutes played, Green Gully 4, Altona Magic 0, and he's put the binoculars down, he's got his notes taken. So who's come on for this Altona side?
Just to assure the viewers, I certainly do not carry a pair of binoculars with me, thanks Matt, but nonetheless, I think you're right in that the Gerendarises both coming on, Marios and Stefanos make their way onto the pitch, as well as Daniel Radenkovic in the centre of midfield for Altona. I think a triple substitution that, as you say, a bit of protection from Altona as they look to make sure that some of them more experienced and important players, the likes of McShane and Ruthven, are set to go again next time out for Altona, which of course the next game taking on even more importance as they drop all three tonight. Still plenty of fight left in them, Altona, and still plenty to play for this season. They're far from down, especially with Dandy City's result going a similar direction tonight. And now Timmins for Gully, looking to enjoy a good spell of possession as Milovanovic in the midfield shows a nice bit of control, but the ball through is headed clear. Now Altona, the ball played wide, looking for Marios Gerendaris, but it's nicely dealt with by Timmins, who delivers it up towards Mehmeti Kamaru, who I think has been outstanding really tonight, especially since T-Boy's gone off. He's probably been, along with Alex Salmon, the most impressive attacking player, Gully. Milovanovic going down under the pressure from De Silva, but De Silva now, the centre half, making his way forward, looking to create something to give the away side something to go home with. Here's Idara. Looking as if Green Gully doing a good job of getting plenty of bodies in the middle, but another opportunity now. Good step over for Altona, the ball through. An opportunity, the player goes down. Referee not interested. Altona will certainly be frustrated at that, seeing as what they would have felt was soft penalties going Gully's way, but clearly they haven't mastered the art of luring the referee in, have the visitors, and another offside will bring an end to this good spell of possession for Altona. Green Gully now just a matter of minutes away from securing a clean sheet, and a big 3 points for them heading into the latter stages of the season, Matt.
It certainly is. The luck just not with this Altona Magic side tonight. .84 minutes gone now. Green Gully 4, Altona Magic 0. Beckett sends the ball forward, but Castillo cuts it off. He finds Sete out wide on the left now with a bit of restructure from Altona. Jonas Markowski playing in a traditional role up front where he's played a lot as a youngster. So one of the Gerendaris brothers out wide this right-hand side as well. Oscar, looks like one. Markowski just treaded on by Hall. It'd be really unfair on Altona if Green Gully did score another one. He's Girondaris driving forward. Try to find Sete. Couldn't get there. Big Daniel Jones finds Salmon. Castiello cut him off, and here's Walker on the charge. Castiello working so hard to get across and winning the ball. Great effort. But it really would be unjust, as I said, if Gully found another one. I think flattering is probably the wrong word, but it's not that Gully have been bad. They've been excellent, but I just don't think they've been 4 goals better than Altona. So I don't want to take anything away from Gully, but I don't think Altona deserve to be at the end of a 4-0 scoreline. Oh, a neat touch from Salmon. Here's Kamara. Kamara in again. Oh, he's lost his footing, but he turns and Kamara strikes wide. Oh, what a chance for Gully. That could have been 5. I think if Kamara had his time again, he might have poked it past the keeper. Oh, what a chance, Oscar.
It certainly was. It all happened so fast for Kamara. You can perhaps understand the fact that he almost snatched at that ball. He did well. He drew the keeper out and yet kept possession. So he had almost an open goal in which to shoot into. But as I say, just snatching at it a bit, lacking the composure necessary to score Green Gully's 5th for the night. Also just a comment on Jonas Markovski. You can see why so many at Altona are excited about the youngster showing his versatility tonight, playing all over the park, now moving right into a central striker role. It provides a great number of options for Altona. Now Idara has the ball for the visitors as they move towards the end of this contest. It's De Silva on the ball. Thought about playing it to Tom Werndl, but opts instead to go down to the other side when Ixete is lurking. But, well, the player went down, but the referee not interested, so the attack continues for the Magic. Idara again to De Silva once more. He's gradually moving further and further away from his typical central defensive position. As we see him continuing his run now, he's gone all the way through. He'll have a shot, and the finish just into the side netting. Couldn't quite get it into the back of the net. A great run from Janiel De Silva there, all the way from the centre of defence. We've seen him get more and more adventurous as the game's worn on, and in that instance, I think just showing the lack of composure that you'd perhaps expect from a central defender there, Matt. But nonetheless, an excellent run and an excellent opportunity for Altona as they showcase their willingness to continue to hunt for goals even as the match is lost in the dying minutes of this match.
That was a great run from De Silva. I think he probably could have cut the ball back, but at 4-0 down, sometimes team rules go out the window and you just do what's best for you. Here's Markovski. Can he cap up a great game? Just wide of the post. That really sums up how Altona's night's been. Chances are plenty early. Of course, McShane had a great chance in the first half and he hit the crossbar in the second. Could have equalised at 1-1 at the time. Luck just not on their side. With 88 minutes played, almost 89. They're just waiting for that final whistle to go. Idara. Haven't seen enough of him today, in my opinion. Substitution told me he was a player to watch today, but I haven't seen enough of him to warrant that sort of talk. I'm only basing on today's game, though. He's not the only one. Good ball into the area. One of the youngsters who's come on for Magic. But Jared Tyson, very experienced. Of course, former A-League goalkeeper. About to tick over into added time. As Polyak, can he add to the misery of this Altona team? Sete back defending. Clears his lines, but can only find Jeremy Walker. Gully. Turn it over again. There'll be 3 minutes of time added on, so 3 more minutes. Here's Beckett. Beckett driving forward. Kamara tries to go on the outside, but cut off. Stephen King not very happy with some of his teammates and their lack of effort these last couple of moments. Salmon, who scored a goal from a similar area earlier as he drove inside. Strong there from De Silva. We've passed the 91st minute into the 92nd now. Can Altona find some sort of consolation goal? Castiello. Adara. Wendell out wide. He drives forward. Targets in the area. But Daniel Jones gets there. Jared Tyson strong, and Jonas Markovski can't believe it, but it's a goal kick. More time ticks off this clock.
Yeah, and I mean, Dan Jones, he started the evening with that poor giveaway for the John McShane chance, which ultimately wasn't punished, but I think that he's had a really good game alongside Jordan Hall, the centre defensive pairing. They've cut out plenty of attacks and been really solid in the air, which has denied Altona too many clear-cut opportunities, so I think that they absolutely deserve credit. But from an Altona perspective, just looking for some positives to take away from this evening, I think Marius Gerondaris on this near-hand side has been excellent since coming on, as Anthony Polyak looks to create another opportunity for the home side. But as I was saying, Gerondaris, I think we've seen plenty of good movement from him and good play and energy, which will be pleasing to see for the visitors as they move towards the end of this game. So we may see him again here, Tom Wendell on the ball. Wendell's ball looking for perhaps Gerondaris, but cut out again by the central defender for Green Gully. De Silva now. Looks for the switch of play. Ultimately, Jeremy Walker, though, is there to clear the ball out of touch. Now awaiting the referee's whistle as we count down the seconds of this game. Idara has certainly had his most involvements in these last 10 minutes or so as the game's been lost.
Lockie Keevers looks at his whistle and blows for full time. So it's Green Gully 4, Altona Magic 0. Alex Salmon, the hero for the home side. His hat-trick, of course, a penalty in the first half, a penalty in the second, before he scored an absolute belter. And a goal from Mamadi as well. Of course, he got in after a Troy Ruthven error. Green Gully 4, Altona Magic 0. Oscar Drew, your final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, a really good contest for a large portion of the game. The game just got away from Altona just at the start of that second half. As much as there were plenty of good signs for Altona throughout the match, I think it really is the story of their season that they're unable to convert that into the score. Gully were clinical when they needed to be. Alex Salmon with a number of excellent strikes, both from the spot and in open play. Kamara, another one who was excellent for the majority of the game. So Green Gully will feel that they well and truly deserve their victory. They'll take the 3 points. It's a big weight off their shoulders as they head towards the end of the season to move an extra 3 points away from the drop zone.
Well, there you have it. It's full time. Green Gully 4, Altona Magic 0. My name is Matthew McNamara. Joining me today was Oscar Drew. Thank you and good evening.